President Trump has done so far hasn't hurt you, stick around a little bit because nurses are very upset. So the Department of Education just announced that nursing is no longer a part of professional degrees. Now, this will really hurt the healthcare system even the more because of Medicaid and Medicare cuts. So this is really going to hurt not only nurses, but advanced nurses such as nurse practitioners or DMPs, things like that, because of the fact is they will not be able to access the same federal loans in order to go to school to become the nurse or the nurse practitioner or the DMP that they are. And see, under this new law that President Trump has just signed into place, not everyone will qualify. Now, like dentistry, optometry, chiropractors, things like that, you still qualify. But unfortunately, even the nurses that really run everything right in the emergency room, yes, doctors do their thing, but they will tell you they cannot do it without the nurses that they have. Because see, if he takes away loan access, he's taking away education access, right? And the very nurses that we need will not be able to become nurses because they can't financially afford it. So now we already have a nursing shortage as far as more than what we've ever had before, and now it's going to become worse. The American Nurse Association is really saying this is a gut punch. This is disrespectful because understand this, nurses are so essential to the environment of the emergency room, of the hospital. Nurses are so essential. And now we're going to make it difficult for them to be able to access the funds or the loans that they need in order to become the professional that they really are.
So Trump's government's coming for nurses now? Here's what's going on. He wants the Department of Education to declassify nursing as a professional degree, advanced practice nursing, like our CRNAs, our nurse practitioners, our masters. Why does this matter? Because nursing is one of them careers that pull you up out of poverty. Gives us a great opportunity to provide for our families and for our life. Most homeowners I know, nurses. A lot of heads of households, nurses. A lot of minority women, nurses. So declassifying us as a professional practice, you thereby limit our access to funding. So you limit a lot of women and minorities women access to further climb the socioeconomic ladder. Yes, this is why it's such a big deal, gang. You think these little insidious things don't matter? They always matter, and there's always something that happens at the end of that affects people. And these type of things will affect patients, specifically patients. I'm one nurse trying to spread the word, so if you can, make as much of an uproar as you can.
This black woman got up here and said that she knew that they were going to take away the professionalism of nursing because of the fact of who they were giving the nursing degrees to. Now, all the nurses in her comments is over here acting surprised, acting like, girl, what is you even talking about? When in fact, all we see is nurses being rude to patients. Those two black women that was also pregnant, that y'all, which one of them you kicked out the hospital and she ended up having her baby. The other one was when the nurse was at the computer and she was doing all her processing, the black woman's pregnancy processing, and whole time she had such a disregard and negligence towards her and her pregnancy, knowing she was in labor. And so when we see these things, we always see nurses always being rude to patients, and y'all want to sit here and act like y'all surprised? Maybe it's about fucking time, because some of y'all don't care about the field that y'all in. Y'all just care about the pay and act like, oh, I need to complain about the pay because the aesthetic is not where I want it to be. When the whole time it's not an aesthetic, you're taking care of people.
A shocking conversation is taking over the healthcare world. Talks of reclassifying or downgrading nursing as a non-professional degree have sparked outrage and fear, especially among black nurses who say these changes could hit their community the hardest. And under the Trump administration, many workers believe the policy direction could reshape or even threaten their careers.
They say that nursing is no longer a professional degree. Hold on, before you don't acknowledge what I'm saying. This is happening in the United States of America. All right. So what happened is that the Department of Education in the United States, which is in charge of giving federal student loans to every professional course, you know that all these professional courses like medicine and surgery, law, I'll list all the courses here. You'll see it on the screen. These are the courses that have fully funded federal loans, meaning that you can get loan from the first year in your university to your final year in your university. You have free education, but you are going to pay back the loan definitely when you get employed and all that. So they yanked off nursing program from the list and the category of courses that can have access to that loan and grants from the federal government. Now, the American Association of Nurses and the American Association of College of Nursing have lashed back at the Department of Education and has lashed at Trump for making it now impossible for nursing graduates to get federal loans for them to complete their education. They were saying that it's going to cause a huge shortage of nurses because you will not have people now going to nursing school, because nursing school in America is very expensive. The average American family cannot afford nursing school. In fact, you can't afford to do medicine in those countries in the United States of America because of the amount of fees, tuition fee, and every other thing that is involved. So they have lashed back at Trump because it was Trump bill that was initiated earlier this year, I think around January this year, that caused all these things. You know that Trump has been cutting down on so many things, blaming Democrats for being frivolous with their spendings and all that. So this is supposed to, take effect from July next year. And this list here is just the list of the professional courses. I'm even surprised I'm seeing chiropractors are in the list. Podiatry is in the list, theology is in the list, and nursing, which constitutes the greatest workforce of health workers in the United States of America, is not in the list. There are over 5 million nurses in America, and they are not in the list of professional degree. This is very, very disturbing. It's very, very funny, and the Association of American Nurses have every right to be very, very pissed at this. Now, what does this mean? Why I'm saying this is that this means that foreign nursing graduates now have an opportunity in this window. Yes, and this is how. Because less and less people will be going to nursing schools, we will now have shortage of nurses in the United States, especially in rural areas, in advanced nursing practice and doctors of nursing practice. Because most nurses are now moving from bedside nursing into more specialized areas in nursing. So nobody want to stay as a bedside nurse. So that means they will still need more people that will come into bedside nursing and come into the workforce of the preliminary stages of nursing. So this is an opportunity for foreign graduates, people that are graduated from nursing in Nigeria. This is an opportunity for you to go into the United States, because you are moving in there, you are not owing any loan, you're just moving there to work and pay your taxes. All right, so it's an opportunity, it's a window of opportunity. But what may likely happen between now and July next year, when this will be implemented, is that they may have to inculcate back the nursing profession back as a professional degree. So that may likely not be the case. But all this is what is currently going on with nursing practice in the United States of America. Follow me for more information like this, and do well to drop a comment and a like on what you think is actually going to happen.
What up, Nurse Gang? What up, TikTok? So today on Nurses in the News, I think this is my 4th post that says, is it still Nurses for Trump? Gonna stay at the YMCA. Oh, remember that? Yeah, we gonna get rich. Trump about to do it up big for us. Big Daddy T in the house. Daddy's home. Okay. Yeah, Trump just dismantled labor unions for the federal government. Yeah, he did. National Nurses United included. So all the nurses, all the nursing unions, etc. Done. Just like that. No long arbitration process. No, we got to go through boom, no more unions. We're done with that. You work for the government. I control this thing. No more unions. That's it. You're not going to collectively bargain here. Wow. Think of all those union dues you guys paid. And I myself was a government employee for 2 years. It was the most toxic job I ever worked. Well, second to the state. I think the state was probably worse. But the union was taking dues, but where were they to be found? You couldn't even reach them by phone. Never answered the phone. Had to get on with them through email. You guys know I have my feelings about unions. I am not, I think they just slap you around and take your money. I think they're pimps, and sometimes they cripple nurses, and I stand on that, Like they said, not all unions, but I'm going to say like 98% of them, outside of the ones in Cali, are kind of corrupt organizations, and I don't think nurses need unions. Nurses, I too had that fear because I was in a union as a state employee for so many years. I had that fear of just, you become brainwashed by it. Oh, if I leave here, what am I going to do? They're fighting for my rights. Oh, what am I going to, the contract, the contract, half of the time they're grieving and striking because they're not even following the contract. I too was brainwashed like that. And then I said to myself, well, hold the hell up. I stepped outside of that comfort zone and got out of that union and realized the RN behind my name is all I need. I'm a professional with education, credentials behind my name. I don't need some Billy Bob who never worked a day in healthcare telling me, I have to pay him to fight for my rights. It just doesn't make no sense when you think about it. And they get behind your back with management. All those union contracts have management rights section in there as well. I see unions as an overseer, like they have for the slaves, to keep the nurses in line. That's what they do. The contract binds you from going out and whistleblowing and doing all this other stuff. Oh, you got to follow the union. You got to see what the union says. Nah, if I get cancer from what's going on in this hospital, I'm getting my own lawyer. There's no goddamn union. But it was nurses for Trump. He coming after everyone, nurses included. Nurses are being laid off all over the country. And this is directly, I still think he stole the election, but whatever. Some nurses did vote for him. What are your thoughts? Let's talk about it.
Nursing degrees, professional nursing degrees, whether you're a nurse practitioner or regular nurse, have been proposed to be declassified by the Trump administration. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, this got everything to do with Trump trying to come after the Department of Education and all of that. True, however, we have been talking about for about 5 years now, the scams that's been going on with the nursing degrees, the major scams. I'm talking about nursing degrees that are being given out right next to a Piggly Wiggly and a store that looks like a Chinese restaurant. And people are paying $30,000, $40,000, whether they're paying cash, whether they're getting loans or Department of Education loans, fast food. And these schools that are in Chinese restaurants, soon as you walk into the door, the bell ring because they right next door to the grocery store, Martin's, Kroger, are giving out nursing degrees. And then these nurses are going into the hospitals. And here's the thing, not knowing what the hell they know. Patients are not making it out. Labor and delivery is getting so much heat right now because guess what? They got unqualified nurses that have been given degrees because they gave a school a federal loan. The school doesn't have to honor the federal loan as long as the student signs the paperwork to say that I got the degree. So they have declassified a profession that is really needed, all because of these schools that found a way around the system to scam the Department of Education to give out nursing degrees to people that are killing people. And COVID was one of the reasons that made them get behind it. Watch this old program that we showed y'all 3 years ago. Let's go.
24 people, a group of school administrators and recruiters, have been accused in a wire fraud operation to sell phony nursing degrees, creating what prosecutors describe as a shortcut around educational requirements set by the state nursing boards.
They prepared and sold fake nursing school diplomas and transcripts to nursing candidates, knowing that the candidates would use those false documents to, one, sit for nursing board examinations.
The investigation, known as Operation Nightingale, feds issued warrants in 5 states and say that 3 schools were involved, all in Florida: Sacred Heart Institute, Siena College of Health, and Palm Beach School of Nursing. All 3 institutions have since shut down, so efforts to reach them were unsuccessful. But federal investigators allege between 2016 and 2021, more than 7,600 students obtained fake degrees, paying out about $15,000 each for a total of $114 million.
These allegedly fraudulent documents may have allowed nurses to serve in critical healthcare roles.
More disturbing, authorities estimate about a third of the people that received fake diplomas, or nearly 2,300 people, are actually practicing nursing right now.
Let's leave administration out of this. Every other professional degree, even a psychologist, is still classified as a professional degree. And I personally don't believe that a psychology degree really deserves all that energy, okay? Now, if you got a professional degree like a doctor's degree and you're actually becoming a therapist, a clinical psychologist, then fine. But sociology and psychology, that needs to be debated on. But here's the thing. Now, a lot of people can argue with this because there are nurses that have done their jobs. There are nurses that have not taken the shortcut and not gotten their degrees off the side of the road in a Chinese restaurant, okay? Nice to school, giving out professional degrees, scamming the Department of Education. This has been going on. This is just one. This is just one indictment. There are millions. So here's the thing. Why should they classify them as professional degrees if they're able, because there's approximately about 100,000 nurses right now, according to the Justice Department, working in the field now that obtained a fake degree, which means they learned on the job. So why would they need to classify that as a professional degree if they're learning on the job like CNAs? Man, bye. Ground it up in a powder. I put it in, you can put it in your water, you can put it in your coffee. I like to take it in my smoothies because I don't like to taste it. It tastes like, you can actually use this to make mushroom gravy. A lot of y'all eat cream of mushroom gravy. This is pure mushrooms, okay? Grounded up in a powder. And this here, if you look at the research on T cell and NK cell mushroom Vitamix, shiitake mushrooms, they're giving mushrooms to people who have certain types of HPV, certain types of herpes. And after using it for quite some time, you can say they're in remission, it's gone, it's eradicated. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, I'm only telling you what the people are saying in reviews by using this, but this is something I would just keep on hand for a rainy day. It is heavily dense in vitamin D, a lot of the vitamins that you will get in the sea moss because this is mushrooms. And yeah, I mean, it's some good stuff here. So I don't particularly take this every day. I probably do it maybe once a week or so, just for T cell optimization and just to keep me on my game. So these are the 4 that I use. And I got to tell you, like, I still get sick, okay? Because I have a son that goes to elementary school. I'm in people's faces. But the way I used to get sick versus the way I get sick now, I no longer require hospitalization because I used to have to go to the hospital, go to the emergency room. I no longer require all of these drugs to get over it. I just make sure I'm supplementing myself.
The big, beautiful bill strikes again. Nurses to the front, we got to talk about this because this profession, our profession, has been under attack since 2020, since the pandemic. And now, with all the changes that's taken place with this administration, the Department of Education has decided that advanced nursing degrees, such as your nurse practitioners, your DNPs, which are nurse practitioners, possibly your CRNAs, because those are also versions of nurse practitioners, are no longer considered professional degrees. Also including your licensed clinical social workers, your educators, also including your physician assistants. I had to remember who else was on that list. Is this not ringing a bell for everybody now? Is it not clicking for people what's taking place? Now, before I say what I got to say, I want everybody to take a step back and look at every profession that is included in what he says is not a professional degree. Please take a look and tell me what the common denominator of all of them are. Don't worry, I'll wait. Because if you haven't figured it out by now, every last one of those professions are driven by women. All of them. All of them are driven by women. Now, it's kind of odd to say that a associate's and a bachelor's degree is considered professional, but an advanced degree, which is your MSNs and your DNPs, are not considered professional degrees. I wonder why. Well, let me tell you. This is a twofold attack, okay? The first one I stated was obvious, is that it's driven by women. It's a woman-driven profession, okay? The second one is the influx in Black people that have entered into these professions. The amount of Black nurses has gone from about 6% since 2020 to about 10-ish% in 2025. The amount of LPNs went from about 13% to about 29% since 2020 to 2025. The amount of black nurse practitioners from 2020 to 2025 has gone from 5% to 10%. There is roughly currently 260,000 students enrolled right now in nursing school. Each year, there has been an increase since 2020 of about 10% for black people per year enrolled into schools. Now, remember me telling y'all a while ago, I said during the pandemic, stop telling these people that we making yada, yada, yada when it comes to this pandemic, because that will not always be the case, right? They started to regulate how much time we could work, started cutting the overtime, saying we can't make this, we can't do that, start slicing all the contracts, start slicing the stipend, saying now you have to work all these extra hours for not even half of what they were willing to give us at first. They wanted to regulate nursing overtime because nurses started to go in making six figures. Well, you can't determine if it's a white or black nurse that's making that money. So what do? You put a stop to all of it. Now, look at what's about to happen now with the same people that are in this profession as registered nurses who spend on average 3 to 5 years at the bedside. Most of them go on to get a professional degree in nurse practitioner work, which can either be clinical work or mental health. Okay. Most NP programs run about 2.5 to 3 years, which means there's going to be a buttload of kids coming out right now, or not kids, I should say, a nice lump of people coming out within the next year, within the next 12 months with a nurse practitioner degree that will no longer be covered by the Department of Education. That program by itself can run anywhere between $30,000 to $70,000 for your degree. What happens? The schools close down because the people stop going. They can't afford to be there anymore. They're not getting kickbacks from the government because they no longer have the funding to take care of what they need to take care of. Then also look at it on this side. The students who are currently enrolled in nursing school where their tuition won't be covered will have no choice but to leave and drop out, leaving the workforce with a huge deficit. And when there is a deficit inside of a workforce, the consumer pays for it. In healthcare, that is a dangerous thing to be because we are already overworked as it is. Staffing ratios are not where they need to be. That means people are going to be neglected. There are going to be mistakes that are being made. Lives will be it's going to cost people lives. So for them to make this move, it was very intentional, very intentional. They knew exactly what they were doing with this. And you are blind as a bat if you can't see that it's in your face. It's in your face. Y'all think it's bad that Meemaw can't get her cup of water and a pain pill when she need it, and she has to wait 20 minutes because we're in the middle of a code or whatever the case may be? Oh, just wait until 260,000 students can no longer complete their program, and most of these nurses are leaving at the 5 to 10 year mark, walking away from the bedside. Just wait until you see how bad that's going to be in the next 2 years. Before this Trump administration is done, it's going to, y'all, I don't think this is the move in the game that y'all want to be playing right now, because nurses will walk away. Nurses will leave the bedside. And then who's going to be there to take care of your loved ones? We literally kept the world functioning, kept the world going. And when nurses aren't happy, nobody's happy. That hospital, that unit, whatever it's going to be, they're going to feel it. They're going to feel it, and they're going to feel it bad. And the nurse practitioners that are there to ease the load of your physicians, y'all think physicians don't make mistakes? Big mistakes that your nurse practitioner catches and your nurses catch? Y'all think they don't make those mistakes? When they're tired and overworked, and that nurse practitioner is there to help ease that? This is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. I don't know what to say. I don't know this is going to be very interesting. It's the key to generational wealth for a lot of people. They know a lot of these people who are currently in nursing school. And like I said, enrollment has gone up 10% every year for Black nurses. How many Black people live above the poverty line where they are able to pay for school without student loans? Okay.
I never thought that I would have to come on here now weekly, say how the Trump administration is continuing to attack women, but here we are. So if it wasn't bad enough that they are trying to take away all women's rights, including just recently, North Carolina, they had proposed a bill to ban abortion completely with no other regulations or exceptions. Luckily, and that would have been a 30-year sentence for these women that did go forward with an abortion. So luckily that bill did not pass. But then we had RFK talking about how pregnant women were at fault for causing autism in their children due to Tylenol, which there was no finding of. Now, just today, I hear that the Department of Education has removed the requirement or the professional degree that is for mostly women-dominated fields like nursing, nurse practitioners. That includes also occupational therapists, audiologists. Those are mostly women careers that they are taking away that level of licensure. And what that means now is that anybody going into those fields will not have funding by, or very limited funding by, the federal government for loans. So there will be that much more barriers for women trying to get into these professions, let alone what it's going to do to our healthcare system by having less nursing staff within any of those systems. I encourage all of you, men and women, us working moms and women in general are having such a hard time enough just living in the US. But I encourage you all to continue to educate yourself, make yourself aware of all of these changes that are coming down from the Trump administration. It seems like now on a weekly, maybe even a daily basis. Next, I am predicting they are going to start putting more restrictions on women's voting rights. So be on the lookout for that. Please stay diligent and educate yourself.
Let's break it down. Welcome to my channel, and of course, if you are new here, please subscribe. Across social media, nursing forums, and hospital break rooms, the discussion is loud. If nursing is no longer considered as a professional degree, what happens to our jobs? Nothing has been officially signed into law, but the conversation alone is creating panic, especially in communities already facing barriers to advancement. Black healthcare workers are raising concerns that any change in degree classification could impact them more severely because they are more likely to work in LPN, CNA, and entry-level roles. Many entered healthcare through community colleges and vocational programs. They face existing barriers to promotions and specialty certifications. They are often in hospitals that rely heavily on lower-tier nursing promotions. So, if degree standards rise, if licensing rules change, if experience suddenly doesn't count, these workers fear they may be pushed out first. A major worry among nurses is not just a law. It is the perception created by the administration. Now, will hospitals use this moment to restructure staffing? Will experienced nurses be told to go back to school or lose their jobs? Will corporate healthcare use new rules to replace people with cheaper labor? These fears are real because the healthcare industry is already known for cutting costs aggressively. Historically, Black workers have faced higher unemployment during industry shifts, fewer opportunities for rapid retraining, lower access to expensive degree upgrades, hospitals where diversity is already limited. So, when a national conversation starts about deprofessionalizing nursing, many Black nurses say they know who gets hit first when the system changes. This isn't about blaming any race. It is about understanding who is most vulnerable when structures changes. So, when Trump's administration rolls out its healthcare agenda, nurses nationwide are waiting for clarity. Will degree standards change? Will licensing rules shift? Will hospitals take advantage of the uncertainty? No one knows it yet, but one thing is clear. Black nurses, working class nurses, and community college trained nurses are demanding answers before it's too late. This story is still developing. If nursing truly loses professional degree status, it could reshape the entire healthcare workforce, and some communities may face the consequences harder than